Hey everybody, welcome to the triumphant return of On the Paint Table. It has been a hot minute since I made this show, but this was my formerly weekly show where before the studio renovation, you guys would see what I'd been working on, what I'd finished, and what was coming up as far as hobby projects. And it kind of gave you like a window into, you know, just like the process that goes into making all the videos that we do and the battle reports that we have. You very often would see miniature manufacturers or kit bashes you didn't see very often. And it's actually, weirdly, it's one of those things that was really easy to make because it was just me setting up a camera for like 10 minutes, talking about what I've been working on, kind of in like a scatterbrained way, trying to like convey what I've been doing, because my process obviously is somewhat chaotic, trying to get this stuff done week to week. I didn't actually feel like it contributed a lot of value to people watching, but it is one that people have been pestering me to bring back basically since in the last 2 years since I renovated the studio, and was the one where I didn't really know what format I was going to use. But as I have basically capitulated and decided I'm gonna, it's good for me too, because it allows me a level of like accountability when I show you guys what I'm working on to actually get it finished. I thought I'd bring it back, and so this is gonna become a Sunday show. It'll happen weekly. It'll be around what I'm working on, no matter where I am. I'll try and do the format the best I can, and basically just show you what's been done. So the last week or so, what I've been working on, I have been working on Kill Team. I have two parallel projects I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to have an indie game and a mainstream game going at any given time. I'm really biting off more than I could chew right now for a mainstream game, but it actually, once the primary work's done, it's gonna be really easy to actually do. And that's because this is something I can do alone without having to have an opponent or a collaborator. That's because the joint ops for Kill Team mean that I have a cool dungeon crawler adventure that I can paint and play through. So that's the first thing. It's gonna be divided into two parts. I'm actually merging Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team Tombworld with Typhon. I'm taking the Deathwatch kill team that comes in Tombworld, splitting into two kill teams. I'm gonna write some just very basic like continuation rules, mission to mission, to play through the 6 missions. So like there's some attrition on the team members and they have to like survive and shake their wounds off and stuff. And then the second kill team will be followed out into Typhon, and it's gonna be the adventures of these like two little like separate teams, and maybe they'll come back together in like a mission that I write when it's all said and done at the end. So yeah, I have some ideas for this. It's gonna be fun, but I have 12 missions to play through between the two books, and I'm really excited about the Tombworld terrain, a new like dungeon crawl style one, and then playing the Typhon terrain is obviously just an add-on to the Volcus terrain I already have painted, so it doesn't take too long. So I'm gonna start by playing through Tombworld, do 3 episodes of that, switch POVs into 3 episodes of what's happening on Typhon, or on Volcus with Typhon, and then go back and forth basically for 12 episodes. That's about 3 months for the content for you guys to watch. And I'm mostly done. I have 6 walls left to do for the terrain for Tombworld, which we'll show you right now. So let's take a look at what got done and what is coming up. All right, so here is the got done portion so far. We've got some walls, we've got some Necron warriors, some scarabs. These are the same Necron warriors that come in the box, which are just my Necron warriors I already had for my Necron army. So I'm really just putting them in here for scale. They are done. They're not actually part of what I painted this week. The rest of it is going to be all of these little bits of terrain. So obviously we have all the scatter terrain finished. These little bookends that will attach, you can see here, to the loose walls. My pop-out doors. I really like this. It's just a pressure fit this time around. And this video will absolutely confirm this terrain is 100 times easier to take apart and put together than the terrain from the spaceship combat one, the Gallowdark terrain. I would rather build this all day long. It's that simple to put together. There's no hooks, there's no like gimbals. It just like slots together. The pressure fitting for the doors is absolutely fine. They just pop out and pop back in. And you can either use the doors or the portals in these little junctions. And there's just enough tension to keep them in one spot. They snap in and snap out. That one might require a little bit more finesse, the portal ones, just to like not have them break, because obviously it's got like weird little, you know, like energy strands in there. But the doors themselves, once you feel the snap, there's like a little, there it goes, a little snap, they just stay in just fine. And yeah, no complaints. I finished up all my little teleporter pads. And the format for doing these was pretty simple. You'll get to see it on the coming up part. These walls were rattle canned with two tones. So I started off with the charcoal black, Rust-Oleum, just like charcoal. It's a chalked paint as my undertone. Gave it kind of like a really dark gray, but it was fairly flat. Then a 45-degree angle rattle can of Iron Warrior from GW. I've yet to find a non-GW off-market like gunmetal that I liked very much. Most of them tended to run, and I wasn't a huge fan of them. But then on top of that, I had a Rust-Oleum like platinum that I did as my last one. It's a great silver color. All of these are done that same color. I then made my own wash using a little bit of, I think it's Gorthor brown. I'm the worst for paint colors. You want like an orangey red brown, a little bit of orange like tacked in there on top of it. Some gloss varnish. That's going to give it the surface tension that you need to have the pigment fall in the recesses. And then I just liberally brushed it all over here to get my sort of like, I call this AT-43 weather marking. It gives me the old Therians from AT-43 vibe on all of my stuff. You can see all of my Necrons are painted the same way. All of this is done the same way as well. And then I go in and put in my oranges. So just going from I think it's Blood Angel orange, actually thinned down the dry paint weirdly. And then adding in, I'm actually using Monolith Hobbies, I think, orange, ... he said, question mark. And then for the little stone, I wanted to match the gaming mat. So I did, because I've actually kind of matched, you can see the metallic bits that are here on the gaming mat, these little bits in same coloring. I went with black, and then I just mixed in whatever they call hawk turquoise now. I can't remember what the name of that is. So black through Corvus Gray through that hawk turquoise. And it's just a quick, it's the most time consuming part, honestly, because when you look at these wall sections, they have a ton of this sort of like broken down old stone falling off of them, and going in and then base coating it black, doing all of the edge highlighting on it, and just cleaning up the edges and stuff is like the longest part. So I don't mind painting this train. It's a little bit time consuming, you know, compared to the Volcus train, because I could just get away with like gray rattle cans and dry brushes there. But it's gonna look really sharp when it's done. And there's no wear. Like I haven't caused my hands to bleed a single time doing this train, which is not what I could be saying for the Galadark train. So I have 6 of these walls left. They're all the long ones. And that's my last of my project to finish the train itself. Here they are. So the 4 individual wall sections, or sorry, 3 remaining wall section types that I have to paint. 2 have doorways, and they're, I guess we would call them the female wall sections, if we're doing like a carpenter's thing. And they're the ones that slot into with the male sections. So the male are the ends that will pop in like this. And they just tension fit, like really simple, really easy. You've got your little Necron Warrior ends too, if you have any loose ends that you can put on. And those are already all painted. But again, like just a real simple tension fit, way simpler design. The last one, the Galadark one, was way over-engineered compared to this. And I also have a couple of these with the pop-out wall section. So you have destroyable walls in this one. And I'll use that black sort of obsidian stonework to blend these in together. I did something stupid. I didn't put them in when I you can see when I did my 45-degree spray, so they're a little bit brighter and shinier than everything else. I'm not super happy with that, but it's not the end of the world. I'll just blend it in with the surface details. The other ones are actually already painted, and weirdly, they turned out way better because I had them pushed in when I did the 45-degree angle spray to give it its like top coat. So that's done, and then I got to do Kill Team Primus, which is my kill team that's going to be going into the Tombworld. That's got my Watch Sergeant here with his little Necron-y sword. I have my Bombard with my favorite gun in 40k, which is the frag cannon. Mostly because I played a lot of Unreal Tournament, and the frag cannon was always my favorite gun in Unreal Tournament because you could bounce around corners. My Phobos Marine with his jammer. I've got my regular Stalker with his sniper bolt rifle, and then my Aegis with his club, his big mace, his club, and his shield. And because you only have a 5-man team, I get to do 2 distinct teams. I think is fun. I'll eventually paint all the profiles, but I like the idea of it's like they send one team into the tomb. There isn't like two teams just switching back and forth. I mean, they don't get to distribute the squad members during the missions. It's just these 5 guys going into a tomb world and having an adventure. So for my 6-man team, I'm gonna write some little injury rules, have dudes like get hurt, have to shake off injuries between games, maybe not start with all their wounds, make like a recovery roll. I'll just make a simple table system for between rounds to do the adventures. So there it is. That's the coming up part for that. And then I need to start working on an indie project, but when that stuff is done, I'll also be working on Typhon, and that means I need to start doing the baddies and the terrain, and that's a whole separate project. Typhon box obviously comes with the Raveners I'm gonna need, as well as the terrain bits. And you can see these are real simple paint jobs. I actually have 1 miniature painted already for this, and that is the Blast Gaunt. This was my test mini that I did. I think I have a single Termagant painted too. I have a Blast Gaunt painted, and that's the scheme I'm gonna be using, which actually really closely matches the scheme from Typhon. But I went and dug through my Leviathan to grab some more Termagants to paint up. I have some Von Ryan's Leapers I need to paint up as well to go with the Raveners. And then the Hormagants that come in this box too. So I need to figure out what the average is. It's probably gonna be 4 Hormagants, 4 Termagants, a couple of the Blast Gaunts, the Raveners are the rarest ones. So I'm not super worried about that. And then some Ripper Swarms too. But that is when this is done, I'm gonna celebrate by recording 3 episodes of Tombworld, and then immediately have to paint up this stuff, including another Deathwatch kill team, to do Typhon, which is it's work never stops. And last but not least on my coming up project list is Greathelm. I have an excuse to paint my Knights of the Realm on foot and kit bash these guys for my friend Malev's upcoming 6-on-6 combat game. So what I needed to make first, which is done right here, is a playing field. Now it plays on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. What I've done is I've actually taken, this is just a dollar store wooden frame for doing, you can either stretch canvas on it or just paint directly on the wood. And I've turned this into my game board. So it's a 1/2 inch short on one side and an inch short on the other side. So it's an inch short this way and then a 1/2 inch short this way. But I'm not fussed about it. It's basically just reduce your deployment zones by a 1/2 inch. And then I'm gonna paint 12 knights, so 6-on-6. I need to convert up my knightly orders. I got all the different weapons here. Swords, axes, I'll use some crossbows actually. Probably from, I have some Fireforge knightly order sergeants, Teutons and order sergeants I'll use to judge these guys up too. And have a really cool, I think, force of 6 knights that I'll be able to take on against somebody else's 6 knights. So I wanted to get all this stuff done. I think this crowdfund starts next week. I believe the 23rd, Wednesday, for Greathelm, and I wanted to get on the table and give it a try between now and then. So expect these to be one of the 2 knightly orders. We'll see some different knights probably to face off against them, but I figured getting the table done, getting 6 knights done, some terrain done was the best way to get started. And then you guys tell me, I wanted to paint these models because I hadn't had a chance to yet. What do you think I should have fighting up against them? Chaos Warriors, maybe? A bunch of options for doing this with pop culture minis, and doing it kind of my own way. I'm thinking it's going to be kind of grimdark. I want to do it very Dark Soulsy, or what's the other one? For Honor. I could do a For Honor style one. Maybe have some Viking Berserkers to fight against these guys nightly wise. So. But the table surface is finished. I'm gonna get this all base coated and paint it up, and then start working on my first 6 knights, and then figure out who the bad guys are gonna be. Other knights to fight them. And that's what is coming up. Last but not least, I found this in my bits box. And this is going to be my tank for Last War. This is a Bonaparte. If you guys did not watch Dominion Tank Police as a kid, you probably don't know what this is, no, sorry, actually, this isn't a Bonaparte. This is a Metal Slug is what this actually is. Side-scrolling 2D shooter, but it's perfect for the look of my Last War team as their kit bash tank. And then I have to do my Possessed tank as well. My tripod walker is easy. I've already been using one of the large tripods from 40K for my evil Martian tripod thing. But I needed some appropriate tanks. I've got my good guy tank now for my squad. I just need to put together another tank to face it, and I'll be able to finish off the last war. So those are my two indie projects that are currently in the works. This one's first because Malev's got his crowdfund coming out soon. I wanted to throw a spotlight on it by doing some work to get ready to play and hopefully get a game on the table. And then this guy is going to let me finish off my last war so I can start a different Forbidden Psalm game and continue on with my usual trudging along of trying to play every indie game ever made, because that's what I do. So there we go. We're back with On the Paint Table. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll see you for the ones next week. Till then, Ash.